What is up, comic fam, and welcome to the Legion of Comics. Today we're here to look at the new comic book day list for next week and what we'll be picking up. But before we do that, check this out. Let's give a big shout out to the channel sponsors, Big Time Collectibles, and thank them for sponsoring the monthly Legion Loot Box. So if you're in the market for some amazing retailer exclusives, some high ratio variants, or placing your FOC orders, be sure to check out BigTimeCollectibles.com. They also just put their holiday mystery boxes up for sale, which are insane this year. So don't miss out. They're selling like hotcakes. Be sure to check them out. Also, a big shout out to Justin Comics. If you're looking to get any of your books cleaned or pressed, hit up Justin Comics on Instagram. For as little as $10 per book, he can take care of you with some of the fastest turnaround times. He can also submit to CGC and CBCS for you. Be sure to use code WeAreLegion for that buy two, get one free promo that we have going on. All right, guys, let's get right into it. You look like you were thinking hard to send. So we just got back from trunk or treat with the kids. So this is life.
Or just another normal day in our household.
Yeah, we're telling people we went trunk or treating. That's what we're saying. But we have some plans for when these kids go to bed. Anyways, let's look at some of the books that are coming out this week. First up, we have Detective Comics number 1044, Fear State tie-in, still going on. In that last issue, we saw him go save Mayor Nakano and blah blah blah. Yeah, it's still going. Next up, we have Amazing Spider-Man issue 77. This is the third book in now on the new story arc and the new creative team. So I'm still excited to see how it's going. I am one issue behind on this, but I'm definitely going to try to get caught up really soon. Next up, we have Spawn issue number 323. A little dyslexia there. I have no clue what's going on in this issue or the last issue. I'm starting to get the issues confused between King, Spawn, Gunslinger, this one. But Kincaid's around. Kincaid's horrible. Spawn's trying to figure that out. There's really not much to it.
The dogs make me sad.
The dogs make me happy. They look like they have it really going on. Next up, one I'm actually really excited about, crossover number 9. So crossover's back and it's kicking. That last issue was actually really good. It really did a good job of establishing itself as its own series. I'm no longer expecting these cameos or false pretenses and out over the crazy hype machine that Donny Cates is. I'm just reading it for what it is. So I'm definitely excited to see where it goes. I feel like I'm invested in the actual characters that are exclusive to this story finally. Next up, super excited for Primordial number 2 from Jeff Lemire. Monkey said goo goo gaga. From Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino. So that last issue they showed us that there's a lot of government espionage going on. There's a lot of conspiracy theory stuff in this book. It looks like some of the world's governments were aware of the Abel, the astronaut dog or chimp that had an encounter. So I'm excited to see how that encounter plays out. More than anything, I'm excited to see how Andrea Sorrentino makes love to the panels with his art, because it is just phenomenal. The long-awaited House of Slaughter number 1 is finally dropping this week. So this is one of the most pre-ordered books I've ever seen. Over 250,000 copies pre-sold. So this book has got a lot of spec hype behind it because of it being optioned as a TV series. It's no secret that Something is Killing the Children is huge in the secondary market right now. So people are trying to jump on this thinking that they're jumping ahead of the curve, but you're still 20 issues late to the game. This book's going nowhere. So hopefully the story goes somewhere where the value definitely won't be going. But I don't know, man. I'm just really not into it anymore. The monster hunting stuff was awesome. I don't know. Maybe it'll be good. Maybe it wasn't. We already know that the main character of this book dies. He died in issue like 7 or 8 of the main title. He was in there for 3 issues. He was just some chump who went out like a sack. And then even in flashbacks and recent issues, they showed you just a whiny little crotch of a kid. So there's nothing redeemable about him. So they're going to go back and give us a flashback story of him, because why not?
Is that what you have a face mask from?
Yeah, the one I got from the book exchange sure did.
Okay.
Next up, this I'm really excited for. So Batman The Long Halloween is one of the most celebrated Batman maxi series that have ever existed. Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale wrote that masterpiece way back in the day. So they're going to be revisiting it to celebrate Halloween. So I'm excited to see how it goes. I have not read the synopsis. I don't want any spoilers on it. Just going to go in blind. We Only Find Them When They're Dead. Issue number 9 is hitting. So this has turned into a very interesting title. It's basically a sci-fi space heist. And what are they stealing? They're stealing giant dead gods out of space.
It's extra.
It is extra. It's extra awesome. Speaking of extra, Task Force Z is coming out. Why? Because. So we have Jason Todd leading a team of undead villains and heroes in the DC universe. I'm going to give this a digital read and see what's up with it, see if it's fun or not. I love me some Jason Todd, so definitely willing to see how it'll be. Another one that I'm really on the fence about, I'm going to read it if I have time, but it's DC versus Vampires. I don't even know where Tynan found time to write this before he left DC.
Go eat 'em.
But I think it's like a 12-issue limited series of DC fighting vampires. I mean, Deceased was fantastic, so this has potential to be fun, but I don't know. I'm not as big into the whole vampire thing, but again, if I have time, I'll read it. I'm sure it'll be fun to talk about. And hey, it's Halloween. Next up, Aquaman, The Becoming, issue number 2 of 6. So just for the sake of trying to keep up with what's going on with Atlantis, and this is really the only primary Aquaman book we have right now, we have to follow Jackson instead of Arthur on some of his Atlantis escapades. He's kind of coming into his own in the kingdom, and he's had an attack in the last issue. He's kind of getting framed for it. But he's definitely a cool character. Definitely love him from Young Justice. So I am going to be trying to keep up with this one and see where it goes. Hopefully it has some weight inside the bigger context of the DC universe, because that's really where stories get me. Next up, Unborn number 2 from, I think, Second Sight or Source Point, one of those. But if aliens crossed with Power Rangers and you took out any kind of floating head in a jar and just replaced it with horror, that's what you got here. We have a huge twist in the last issue where we saw some team members fall, some horrific twists happen, and it left us on a major cliffhanger. So I'm excited to see where it goes from here. This is the one we found at Second and Charles. So I added it to my pull list with Paul because I completely missed it coming through there. And yeah. Next up, we have another limited series from DC Comics, and it's Deep Target, issue number 1 of 7. So this is Green Arrow and Aquaman teaming up for some misadventures and whatnot, but we'll see where it goes. I do plan on trying to follow it, at least for a little bit, to see if it gets any good. All right, so that's all I have on my pool list for this week. Let's take a look at a few other titles that are going to be dropping this week. We have Daredevil, issue number 35, as well as Moon Knight number 4. We've got Wolverine, issue number 17, and Marauders, issue number 25. Robin number 7 from Joshua Williamson is dropping, as well as Inferno number 2. And that's the big wrap up for Hickman's X-Men run. I read that first one. It's not a jumping on point. Completely made 0 sense. So we have Star Wars, Darth Vader, issue number 17, as well as War of the Bounty Hunters, IG-88 number 1. Got a Wonder Girl number 4 and a Harley number 8. Oblivion Song, issue number 34, Once and Future number 21. Deathstroke inks back with issue number 2, as well as Checkmate number 5 of 6. So that one's getting ready to wrap up. And then we have Time Before Time, issue number 6, and Echolands, issue number 3. And this is another one I'm getting more and more interested in, just for that horizontal painted art through it. It seems very unique. So then Darkhold, I've been hearing a lot of good stuff about this. Blade is getting the next installment in it. There's been a series of one-shots focused on different characters, but Darkhold Blade one-shot, as well as Vinyl, issue number 5. And then finally, to wrap up this week's list, we have Out of Body, issue number 5, as well as Philadelphia, number 18. So that's definitely not all that is out there this week. Be sure to double-check those shelves over at your LCS. And I'd like to give a big shout-out to Paul and Donna at the Augusta Book Exchange. They are the keepers of my comics, the guardians of my pool box. I always make sure everything I'm looking for is safe and secure, waiting on me when I get there. Find no better customer service anywhere. And if you're ever in the Augusta area, be sure to check them out. And I'd like to give a big attention to the Comic Vet. So be sure to check out his channel, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell, because every week him and I do a video where we give you our top pick for the week and tell you why you should consider picking it up. And that is it for this week, guys. Be sure to check out the channel tomorrow night at 9 p.m. for At Week's End. There's a lot of great stuff that happened this week. We'll be going over a lot of it and just reviewing some comics. I hope you can all come hang out, join the chat, and join the fun. And until next time, guys, as always, oh yes, don't forget to thank the channel members. Still getting the hang of all this. So yeah, I'd like to give a big shout out to the channel members, which we hit 50 members yesterday. So thank you to all the people that have joined the channel. If you wanted to consider becoming a channel member and joining the Legion, be sure to hit that blue button down below next to the subscribe button that says join. There are 2 different tiers, so you can choose the one that fits you the best. But if you do join that $5.99 tier, remember that you are entered in the drawing for that monthly Legion loot box sponsored by Big Time Collectibles. And until next time, guys, as always, I'm Mark, but we are Legion.